Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel for another LEGO build. I apologize, just like in the haunted house build, I am still getting rid of this cold. At this point, this is actually pretty much the first time in a week I've actually been able to talk and people can understand me, so I'm still dealing with a stuffy nose and a sore throat, but other than that, I'm excited to get back in the building. The last project, the haunted house, was absolutely amazing. And as of recording this, my UCS Venator is out for delivery, I believe, tomorrow. So fingers crossed that set comes. So I'm going to try and get through this one before I start the Venator, of course, because that might be the most exciting set I've ever purchased. But it is also going to take me an obscenely long time to actually do. So today we're going to be knocking off a smaller set, which is going to be also be added to the Haunted District. If you're new to this project or this city, so essentially you'll see in the background a little bit once I actually start the build, there's going to be black base plates and the huge haunted house set, the modular building. That is all the haunted district. So starting with October, obviously, of last year, I started working on it a little bit, took it a completely different direction starting this October, and I really like where it's headed. This is going to be the first Harry Potter set in that district of the city, which is pretty cool. This is the Shrieking Shack with the Whomping Willow from the Prisoner of Azkaban. The minifigures I'm going to be putting in with my Harry Potter displays, either Hogwarts or the Battle of. But the actual tree, some of these smaller pieces, and of course the shack itself, are perfect for the actual haunted city. It adds a lot of depth to it, and it's going to be something pretty unique. This set does retail for $90. In the US, it is a Target exclusive, and you can get it, of course, at the LEGO store or LEGO.com, and it comes with 777 pieces, as well as 6 awesome minifigures, including my 2 favorite characters in all of Harry Potter, Remus Lupin and Sirius Black. And, you know, I looked through my collection, and I don't have Remus Lupin. He's my favorite character in the entire series, and it took me this long. But yeah, the set itself is pretty cool. I'm definitely excited, whether you're a Harry Potter fan or not. It's definitely a really cool build. The back is not enclosed, however, the table leg for the double-leveled city behind me, again, you'll see that a little bit later in the video. I can use some stuff to actually disguise that, so that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, I also did get a few smaller packages today with the UCS welcome packages or gifts with purchases and some smaller stuff. I also got the Halloween VIP pack, so I'm gonna look at adding this excuse me, and a potential graveyard. I just ordered all my cobblestone pieces. I'm still waiting for that from Bricklink. So yeah, a lot of projects going on. If you're new to the channel, feel free to check out any of the content that I put out. I do a ton of video games, a ton of LEGO builds, and all that good stuff. Without further ado, everybody, let's get started with the build. everybody, and here's the final build. I like it. It's pretty cool. I don't know if I'd look at this and say, yes, it's $90 cool, but, you know, it's 2023. I can only complain about the prices so much, with buildings especially, because you're going to end up paying it if you really want it. Instead of starting with the minifigures, I will show off the best I can some of these, like, the little small cards that they show off in Harry Potter, like the actual movies itself. Purple, a little bit of chrome coloration, they're pretty cool. 4 different characters. Definitely a neat little Easter egg in there. We will start with Ron Weasley here. Of course, this is episode 3, so they're going to have the smaller legs, or I should say chapter 3 would be more appropriate than episode 3. So he's going to have his red sweatshirt here. Overall, one of your more basic minifigures, I would say. Nothing too fancy here, but one thing I always thought was cool, if you are a huge Harry Potter fan, you can do, like, get a bookshelf, do one scene per movie, and I think that would be pretty cool. It's actually something I would like to do one day, but definitely not in here. I just don't have the space for a whole Harry Potter world at this point. And then, of course, just like every other set, we do have a Harry Potter. This one comes with his blue jacket, blue undershirt, and he does have mud all around him as well, even on the back, which is pretty nice. Nice little details there. And then, of course, we do have Hermione in that classic pink shirt that you've definitely seen before, and the blue pants. She, of course, does have mud as well on her front and back side of the torso. Pretty cool. Then, my second favorite character in all of Harry Potter, as I demolish half of it, is Sirius Black. Again, mud covered from head to toe. And then, of course, his dog form as well, which is pretty cool. It does have a little groove for it to stand on, but it's just a little bit tough to actually get on this platform here. A lot of tears in the back. Really cool minifigure. I do like him a lot in this set. And then, of course, the dog itself. Pretty basic, but I do like the bright yellow eyes. Some of the smaller fur details on the corners. That's definitely pretty cool. Then we go from the arguably best character in Harry Potter to the worst, Peter Pettigrew in his rat form. Lovely. Everyone's favorite person, of course, Peter Pettigrew. Overall, pretty cool minifigure. It does have some nice pinstriping, but it is really hard to tell unless you have a light actually on it. Like, it is incredibly dark. I'm not sure if that's just my eyesight or not, but it is extremely hard to actually see the pinstripes. Like, right there for me, which is just off center of my vision, I can barely see any pinstripes. So I'm not sure if that's just me or if it's a really dull paint color. But yeah, definitely cool minifigure. I actually don't have him yet. Glancing towards the Harry Potter display. Yeah, no, he's actually a new minifigure for me. So that's pretty cool. At least he's checked off the list. And then, of course, my favorite character in the entire series is Remus Lupin. Definitely an underappreciated character. I know he's well liked, but still, doesn't get enough credit. He, of course, does have his werewolf form and his classic form. This is an awesome mold. It's a really cool minifigure. It has really great, like, fur printing on the headpiece and the back, some grooves and some markings on the actual torso. The legs are very, very unique for this. They're not normal minifigure legs. They're actually, like, jointed almost in the middle in, like, one set piece, which looks awesome. And, of course, the actual head sculpture and the torso from the front look fantastic. Awesome minifigure. This is very, very cool. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to put it in Hogwarts or I'm going to leave it in the Haunted District as like just a classic werewolf or something like that. Not sure yet. Maybe I'll get another one and do both. Then, of course, last but not least, we do have Professor Lupin itself. Hairpiece is it's very boring, and I mean that in a good way. Of course, like, his hair is very similar to this in the movie, so they did a nice job on the actual print itself. It's just very dull and very, like, bowl cut compared to everyone else's on here. And even if you could just compare it to, like, this one here, very dull, very under-detailed, but it does fit for his weird hairstyle that he always goes with. You do have the scarrings on his face, of course, a lot of dirt on his torso as well, and then, of course, you have the patch, the wrinkles, and everything on the back as well. And despite this being my favorite character, this is the first time I actually have his minifigure, so very excited to add him to my collection, and I'll be putting him most likely in the custom scene I'm making for the Battle of Hogwarts. I did review that a little bit ago, the actual new set for it, but I'm customizing it further, so that'll be pretty cool. Here we do have an actual just smaller gate piece, some railings, some crooked boards, and then you actually do have 2 brown skeleton legs, which is a pretty cool little detail. I'm going to be adding this to the city as well. One thing I did think of while I was building this, obviously this is snow covered, it's going to look out of place in the city for now. Where I'm thinking of putting this actually right next to that table leg in the back between the haunted house and this. This is like the exact same distance apart. Like right here is kind of perfect for it. So what I'm thinking of doing, I'm just going to keep this in the corner for now. I'm going to work on something custom for like the Whomping Willow underneath, right in here, underneath that base plate from the top until I work on the beach project, probably picking that up again next month. Once I'm done with this in the Venator class, I'm doing some more smaller projects for October, but I'm just not going to have the time or the budget to go all out on a beach project right now. So that is going to be happening either in November between the Haunted District and the Winter District, which I would like to work on in December, of course, because, you know, Christmas and all. It's going to be a cool little holidays display. But for this year, I'm just going to try and do maybe 1 or 2 smaller projects for this haunted theme. So I'll work on the Whomping Willow. I'll stick it under there until I can get that base plate shortened up and customized and all of that. So yeah, pretty cool little gate piece here. Then we move on to the Whomping Willow. Like I said, this is going to be kept in the city just because I already have one in my Hogwarts display. It does have an actual turning mechanism on the side, of course, so it can actually rotate back and forth and smack some stuff around. This right here is an actual transformation, so you would technically put Lupin on the outside, rotate this where it's cloudy up top, or sorry, not cloudy, and then right for when the moon, which this piece right here is the moon, it does glow in the dark, which is pretty cool, you would put the werewolf for the actual transformation. That is more of the playset features there. It's pretty cool. They have made the Shrieking Shack in the past, so this is not entirely like a brand new building. You've never seen it before, but it's been a while since they've actually made this. And you know, Prisoner of Azkaban is just about my favorite movie in the series, aside from Deathly Hallows Part 2, but I'm a battle scene fan. Of course, that's going to be my favorite. But this one, Order of Phoenix, most of that, but most of Order of the Phoenix. Some of it's a little boring, but most of that movie, of course, is awesome. And Goblet of Fire are usually the 3 I go with. Just not Half-Blood Prince or Chamber of Secrets. Not my thing. In terms of the actual building itself, it is very cool. It is, like, off-tilt a little bit. So if you look at it from the side, the chimney does a really, really nice job of, like, being followed through. Right into here, there's a little bit of a gap, but nothing too much. Like, it is quite literally a millimeter, like, little pointing out there. Nothing too bad. And trust me, if that's a nitpick, you've got bigger things to worry about. But the actual building does look just decrepit and falling apart, and I absolutely love it. Right here is where the barrier sits. There's 2 actual, like, cylindrical pieces, or I should say circular pieces, that keep this kind of off tilt on the top of it, and I think it looks great. Again, a lot of snow details. It is what it is. I'm going to try and customize that maybe somewhere down the road, but I just don't have time for that right now. And obviously, I did want to review the set as is, but you see a lot of these pieces are, like, offset. So, like, this one's farther in than this one, and in building-wise, I'm looking at it, I'm like, what have I done wrong? And then I have to keep remembering, it's supposed to look like that. Things aren't supposed to match as much, so like, it is supposed to be just beat up and off-center. So, of course, we do have the door itself. It does open with a little bit of difficulty. Okay, so that was literally just, there was a piece underneath that was a little bit loose. You can open that up, see straight through. It is, of course, an open back. If you want to modularize this, I assume it wouldn't be too easy, just because it is a little off-center, so you would actually have to customize some stuff there, but I mean, if you're really dedicated and want to make this modular, you can definitely do it. A lot of sticker boards here. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of them. You have a couple boards that are stickered, but a couple that are printed as well, so it's a nice mixture. I think it looks really cool with the actual boards up and the outside. A couple boarded windows up top and all the blank windows as well. I think that's definitely a nice feature. You do have some more stickers, of course, off the center, which are going to be the actual tiles with some snow on it. Right over here, we do have an opening door, of course, from the side, which does blend in with the rocks along the bottom. And then we flip it to the back. You do have the actual kitchen down here. You have a chest, you have a table. You're going to have a little lantern, some smaller pieces inside. Then right around the corner, you do have a painting as well. Up here, we have the fireplace above the, or below the broken mirror. You have a small cot to sleep on. You actually have the boarded up windows, which have like broken down blinds on the inside, which is a pretty cool detail. and the grand piano, and a couple of lights, a couple picture frames as well. So yeah, that is going to be it for this review. Like I've said throughout the video, I've got tons of projects coming up if you're interested, or have any recommendations for the Haunted City, or any upcoming projects or video games, anything like that, definitely let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, that's been a wrap, folks. Thank you so much for joining me. Like, comment, and subscribe if you can. It really helps out the channel, and I'll see you next time. Happy building, folks.